Hi, second graders. Today we are going to focus on parts of a book. And when I am talking about parts of a book, I am talking about a nonfiction book, a book that would have true facts or true information. I know some of these bugs look like they're cartoon bugs, one's in the corner reading, but that doesn't mean the information in the book isn't true. So we need to think about parts of a book for nonfiction, true information. Another word we used was expository text. Over here, we would find the book cover. And on the book cover, you would have the author and the illustrator. The author does get to be listed first, and then the illustrator, if it's a different person, would be under the author's name. We open up the book to the title page, and the title is listed, the author again, and the illustrator, and the publisher, the company who made the book. And notice how you can tell, look at all these pages here on the right. That means this is at the beginning of the book. Another part of a book you would find at the beginning of nonfiction would be the table of contents. See all the pages here on the right? That is telling me this is at the beginning. So we would have possibly a dedication page with the copyright, once again, telling us maybe when this was made and the company. But the table of contents is what is important for us to pay attention to. The table of contents organizes the information in this book by either chapters or topics. And it would tell us what page those chapters or topics begin. In the back of the book, see how all the pages here are now on the left? This is telling me this is in the back of the book. You would find the glossary and the index. Not all books would have these or both, but if it did have a glossary or an index, you would find it in the back. A glossary is like a dictionary. It would give you some important words that the author would help you pronounce or find the meaning or definition. And the index would be a quick way to find maybe some topics inside the book. Instead of looking through the whole book, it would list pages where you could go to quickly for those topics. So let's take a closer look at the table of contents. This table of contents has the topics down here, and these dots will tell you the page that that chapter or that topic would start on. If I count these, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This book is organized into 6 topics or chapters. And once again, I can follow the dots to tell me what page that topic or chapter would begin on. So, what is a book with this table of contents about? If you would just look at all these chapters, you're probably thinking space. This might have been a good one to kind of go along with our walking with the astronaut story. So let's just together talk about the page numbers for the beginning of these chapters or topics. So the moon, what page would I turn to if I wanted to read about the moon? Very good, page 24. What about the stars? What if I wanted to read about the stars in this book? I would turn to page, 5, right there. The sun, if I was interested in the sun and I didn't have time to read this whole book, I would turn to page 19. And the Milky Way, I would turn to page 30. So this would be a quick way for me to get to these topics without having to look through the book or having to just guess where they might be. Here is an index, and an index is at the end of a book. It is a list of all the things in the book, or most of them, and the pages they are on. So if I was interested in that book and I wanted to just read about Mars, I could look on page 15 and page 16, and that would be the pages where Mars was mentioned or there was information about Mars. If I look at the word rocket, right here it is, it would be on page 35 and 36. This is a quick way for me to find information about rockets in this book. Instead of looking through the whole book or skimming the whole book, I could just quickly turn to these 2 pages. Let's look up here at the moon though. The moon has this dash. The dash means that if I want to read about the moon, it would start on page 24 and go all the way on to page 29. So it's 24 through 29. So that's a few more pages than the other 2 topics. This question says, can you read about Earth on page 25? Well, let's match. Here's Earth, and Earth's up here. I see page 11, 12, and 13. I do not see page 25. So this would be no. If I turn to page 25, I would not be reading about the Earth. 25 would be over here. I would be reading about the moon. And then my last question for you are the index words in alphabetical order? Let's look. E, M, A, M, I, M, O, O, and R. They definitely are. So another reason of why we need to learn our alphabetical order, it helps us organize information. So you are going to go to the next slide and practice a little bit with the different parts of a book.